Today is Sophie and Edward's 22nd wedding anniversary, meaning their union has outlasted all of Edward's siblings' marriages. Upon their marriage, the couple were given the titles of Earl and Countess of Wessex, and at the time it was considered an odd choice. This is because, as a child of the monarch, Edward was entitled to a dukedom but instead took the lesser title of Earl. However, it has emerged that Edward is destined to take on his father's title of Duke of Edinburgh after the Queen dies and his brother Prince Charles becomes king. Sophie recently recalled the day, 2 days after their engagement announcement, when he came to offer the dukedom to his youngest son. She said, "We sat there slightly stunned. He literally came straight in and said, 'Right. I'd like it very much if you would consider that.'" The Earl admitted in the couple's interview with The Telegraph, that the title should theoretically go to his brother Prince Andrew. He added, "It's a very bittersweet role to take on because the only way the title can come to me is after both my parents have actually passed away first. It has to go back to the crown first. My father was very keen that the title should continue, but he didn't quite move quickly enough with Andrew, so it was us who he eventually had the conversation with. It was a lovely idea, a lovely thought. It is also fitting that Edward has taken on the responsibilities associated with the Duke of Edinburgh Awards scheme." Sophie and Edward are believed to be particularly close to the Queen and to Prince Philip before he died in April this year. They live down the road from the monarch in Windsor and have often spent weekends with her and Philip. The couple explained in the interview that they and the 2 children, Louise and James, keep expecting to see the Duke arrive in his green Land Rover Freelander. Their 17-year-old daughter embodies the Duke's legacy in that she has inherited his love of carriage driving, a sport he popularized himself. The Countess said, "Louise went out training the other day and I was standing there expecting the Duke to turn up and give her a few tips or just ask her how things were going." In a recent interview with Radio 5 Live's Naga Munchetti, Sophie got quite choked up as she talked about her father-in-law. She described an "oh my god" moment when she suddenly felt the loss of the Duke of Edinburgh. She said, "We were lucky enough to go to Scotland for half-term. And I don't know if you remember the photograph that I took, of the Queen and Philip. I was pregnant with Louise at the time, and we went there during half-term." At this point, Louise had to take a breath as she was starting to well up. Ms. Munchetti asked if she was all right, and Sophie continued, "And just to be there in that place was an oh my god moment. Oh, I think they'll come and go, but you have to let them come and let them go. But just talking to you now, it's a bit of an oh my goodness moment, which you don't necessarily expect, and you don't expect them to come. I had the same when I lost my mother. I would be fine, absolutely fine, but if something happened or you would hear a piece of music or you'd do something and suddenly you would get taken off at the knees." Edward and Sophie, The Reluctant Royals is on tonight on Channel 5 at 7:30 p.m.